How's it going, guys? JP here. Welcome to day number 16 in my second annual 31 Days of Horror. The film that I'm going to be reviewing today is Wes Craven's Shocker from the year 1989 with the tagline of "No More Mr. Nice Guy." And I have it in a multi-pack here with a film called Virus, a Jamie Lee Curtis film, which I know nothing about. I'm not even sure if it's horror. I specifically bought this set for Shocker. I normally stay away from these multi-pack things or you know, triple packs or whatever, just because I really don't like to have a bunch of films bunched together, and especially if they're on the same disc like this one is. But every single time I see Shocker, it's always paired with something else. Either it's this film, Virus, or you know, People Under the Stairs, or you know, in a triple pack with two other films. I never see it on its single edition release. You know, I never really sought it out and looked for it online or anything, but every time I see it in a, you know, in a Walmart or an FYE or a Kmart or a Target or any place like that, it's always in a double pack. So I decided to finally give it a buy and just grab it in this double pack because I just really wanted to finally see it. Paid $5 for it, so you know, I guess it's not too bad. So yeah, Wes Craven's Shocker. It takes place in a small town. There is a serial killer by the name of Horace Pinker, I believe, and he's killing people all over this town. I believe he's a like cable repairman. Um, and he ends up taking his killing spree to the home of the man who is tracking him, a detective. He ends up killing the man's wife and son, I believe. Um, and you know, very tragic and stuff. The detective is just, you know, obviously torn up about it, but he also does have another son, an older son who is in high school. He's actually adopted, and the kid actually witnessed the murder happen, but he wasn't there in person. He witnessed it in a dream, and it was so real to him, so he tells his father about it. And he's somehow weirdly connected with this Horace Pinker serial killer guy. He's able to connect with him on a dream-like level and see things that he's doing. Of course, his father thinks he's crazy at first, but eventually takes his word for it, and they follow. They basically follow the dream and where he's going to be. You know, clues from the dream. They find him, and he escapes though. And upon escaping, he ends up murdering the boy's girlfriend, and then they eventually catch him. And he is put to death via the electric chair, but not before he trades his soul to the devil for some sort of electric type power where he can hop from body to body, and he basically can remain living and slaying people in this town, along with being tied to this kid in some way. That's pretty much where I'll leave it off. This film is very, very similar to A Nightmare on Elm Street. I was actually surprised how similar this film was to A Nightmare on Elm Street. I would call this film A Nightmare on Elm Street meets Jason Goes to Hell. With the whole body hopping thing and the dream sequences and just the villainous nature of the Shocker guy, it kind of reminds you of Freddy Krueger a bit, or at least you know, a lot of similarities with the dream sequences and nightmares, and it seems very, very similar. So I would probably say that this film was definitely kind of an afterthought of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Maybe Wes Craven used some of his ideas that he didn't use in A Nightmare on Elm Street in this film. Overall, you know, it's kind of fun. It's a bit of a dark comedy. It's cheesy as hell. There's a lot of plot holes and a lot of things aren't explained and don't make sense. But on the other hand, it's just classic late 80s fun times. I wouldn't say it's a great film. I wouldn't even say it's a great film, and definitely wouldn't say it's Wes Craven's best work. Wes Craven, in my opinion, has made some great horror films, and I don't really think he's hit and miss like everybody says. I think every one of his films, you know, mostly every one of his films has some good qualities, and at least are, you know, semi decent. You know, mostly all of them, off the top of my head, except for like Hills Have Eyes Part 2, are at least well made. Um, And you know, I just really like Wes Craven, and Shocker, I'm glad to finally see it. I actually did see some of it when I was a kid because some of the scenes I remembered. This is definitely not Wes Craven's best film, but it's certainly not his worst film either. I would probably rank it somewhere in the middle if I was going to rank all of his films, somewhere in the mid tier. The effects in this one are pretty solid for what they're dealing with, you know, electricity hopping from, you know, reality to the TV world and things like that. Some don't look, you know, super great, come off a little dated and stuff, but, you know, definitely tolerable and, you know, kind of has that cheesiness to them also. Another thing that I really liked was the idea of having a male character as your lead. It just seems like they almost would have went with a female in this one, much like a Nightmare on Elm Street with Nancy and Freddy, kind of having that, you know, beef type battle thing between them. It almost seems like they would have went with a female character for this guy since he's so similar to, you know, that of a Freddy type of character. He's a very similar kind of villain. You know, just very evil and you know, he's actually, you know, more that I think about it, he's really similar to Freddy. Um, but yeah, so it was cool to see a male lead in this one. You know, it happens from time to time, and it's interesting when it does. Um, so yeah, Shocker. I would probably rate this film a 6.5 out of 10. It's nothing super great, but it is a lot of fun too. You could definitely get some enjoyment out of it, especially if you like late 80s, you know, craziness like this film. So that's my review for day 16, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow with day number 17. Peace.